Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on Cobblers Vlogs today. It's another massive one. It's another massive opposition view live. We're talking to another one of the members of the Mini 6 relegation league. It's Bristol Rovers. I've got Charlie Hayne alongside me, who is part of the One Rovers Vlogs channel. Hello to everybody that is in the chat. Hello to Charlie as well. Welcome along. Hello to Jason Rodhouse is here. Lucy Mayfair is here. Max Hurst is here. George is here. All the regulars are here. So hello to all of you. And of course, hello to everybody that's watching this back as a video, as I know most people that watch these do. But whether you're here live or you're watching it back, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and all of that good stuff. So Charlie, Bristol Rovers fan, welcome along. First of all, we'll start with the easy bit, not the painful bit. How are you doing? How's lockdown treating you, or now that we're coming out of it, are you getting out and about a bit more?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, it's been all right. Obviously, cheers for having me on as well. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's been pretty good. I think YouTube's really helped me a lot. I think still interacting with people and doing streams, that sort of things helped me a lot. But yeah, overall, obviously, hopefully it's back to normal really soon. Fingers crossed. But yeah, all good really.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. And you mentioned YouTube's helped you a lot. I think I could probably say the same myself. I think I made a video at the start of January. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, I want to be the guy that's kind of keeping people entertained in lockdown and pushing stuff out. So yeah, it's helped me, and I hope I've helped some people as well. And I'm sure you probably have as well, as helping yourself. And I have definitely found this kind of addiction to live streams, and we've definitely done a lot more of them. So it's all good. Cool. So yeah, hello once again to everybody watching. Will Ulrich as well, the other member of the channel, is in the chat, who Charlie has just spoken to himself for part of his preview. So go and have a look at that. If you haven't already, after this one, of course, I'll put the link to that in the description. So Charlie, obviously you're a Bristol Rovers fan. Before we talk about Saturday's game, which is obviously a huge one, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of that. Just talk to us about how you've ended up in the same position of us. For those of you in the chat or watching that have kind of been living under a rock this season, Bristol Rovers are very close to us in the table. Northampton, us 19th, 39 points. Bristol Rovers just 2 points behind us, occupying the top of the relegation zone with 37 points. What's left you in this position at the minute?
Yeah, it's been a lot of obviously different things. Obviously the recruitment in the summer wasn't good enough. We obviously got rid of Clark Harris before the season started and didn't replace him really. He got 27 goals for us in about a year and a bit, and didn't replace the goals. And recruitment's bad, and obviously managers, we're on to our third manager of the season, so the board is obviously to blame. We had Garner, who we had from the season before. He basically got given the thumbs up to go and get all the players in the summer, and just didn't work out. And then Tisdale was awful as well, and then obviously now finally Joe Barton. So a mixture of different aspects really.
I mean, you've been in League One for quite a few years now. Obviously we've been down in League Two, so Bristol Rovers aren't really a club that I've kind of kept up with in terms of how you've been doing. Have you always been in a relegation fight for the last few seasons, or have you been more of a mid-table League One side, or how's life in League One before this season been?
Well, it's sort of a mixture. From being a Rovers fan, I've been going to Rovers games for about 14 years now, and it's sort of been we have a good season, and then have a really good season. We either get promoted, then we have a few mediocre seasons. Because even now, obviously, we got back into League One about 4 years ago now, I think it is. And then we had first season done really well, finished about 10th, and then last year and the season before mid-table, and then and now obviously relegation. It sort of goes in that sort of period. We got back to back. We got relegated down to the conference. 5-6 years ago, we got back-to-back promotions, went up to League One, and then it happens sort of every couple of years. Like, do all right and then get relegated, and that sort of thing, really.
Yeah, I would agree. We're definitely in a cycle like that. Maybe not as long as kind of 4 or 5 years in the division. We kind of just come up to League One for maybe 2 years maximum, or the equivalent of League One, and then just go back to League Two, have a rubbish year in League Two, mid-table year in League Two, and then come back up the season after. And we're kind of at the minute there's a lot of questions, certainly by people that I know, being asked of the owners in terms of, when are we going to make this progression to actually try and stay in League One, and then if we can build towards the Championship, which is surely what you'd want to be doing in your fourth season in League One. Let's talk about what's gone wrong a bit more this season. Then you mentioned you've had 3 managers. Talk us through from 1 to 3 how you started with Garner and ended up with Joey Barton. And before you give your opinion on Barton, just tell us the story first of all.
So yeah, obviously, our first manager, it's been quite an awful 18 months really for Rovers fans, because back last season, it was in December, we had Graham Coughlin. We were 4th in the league, just beating Ipswich away, and then after that game he said how he's been away from his family so long and he wanted to leave, and basically 4th in the league, Rovers fans going mad, we just beaten Ipswich away, and in his interview after, he said, yeah, I'm leaving, and basically when I got home he'd left. Crazy. And then Garner got bought in, never managed before in his life. He's been coaches at Chelsea and Palace and West Brom, but never a manager. So then he come in and didn't have a clue what he was doing, always blaming stuff, blaming people or whatever. So he got sacked, and then Tisdale come in. Thing with Rovers, we always sort of go with the cheap option. Yeah, we always sort of go with the cheap option as well. So bought in Tisdale, had an awful record in League One before with MK Dons, brought him in. And then, he obviously got the sack. And then, Barton, I think we definitely bought him in too late, because he hasn't had, time to bring in any transfers. We bought him in after January. We should have gone for him before Tisdale. He was out of a job as well, so he was free to get. But now Barton, obviously, even him, it hasn't been, since he's come in, we've had 3 wins and 8 defeats. So even with him in, it's been, not the best. But it's been crazy, really.
Mm-hmm. And so Joey Barton, then, the thing I want to talk about first of all is the fact that there's kind of been these 3 clubs that have been in this relegation battle that have sacked managers. I mean, there's probably a couple of others that have, but there's 3 in particular. There's us, yourselves, and Burton was the other one I want to mention. Burton kind of sacked whoever it was in charge. They had some kind of former player as a manager. They sacked their manager kind of halfway through the transfer window. We then sacked Keith Curle 2 weeks after, which was outside the transfer window. And then you kind of sacked Tisdale a couple of weeks after us. And Cobblers fans have kind of been saying that we're kind of 2 weeks behind Burton in the fact that, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had a chance. I mean, he bought in about 46 players on deadline day, Hasselbank. He had the chance to get in who he wanted very quickly, and they're flying now. And you could say they are probably just about out of it. They're probably like a win away from being out of it. Then there's us. We sacked Keith Curle, brought in John Brady, who has probably had enough time to implement his ideas. But Joey Barton's been given not even 15 games, really, has he? So what's your opinion on Barton so far? And also, was that sacking of Tisdale made too early, or sorry, not too early? Was it made too late? Could it have been made earlier, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely could have been made earlier. I think the other bad, the other big problem was, we're down there with you in Wimbledon. The fact that we don't score enough goals. He had the whole of the transfer window in January, and didn't even he really wanted Jayden Stockley before he went to Charlton, because he worked with him at Exeter, but he didn't have any backup options, and us Rovers fans were like, what is he doing? Like, we need a striker. Our other strikers have hardly had any. They had about 2 years of League One experience before they joined us, so that was the big problem. And with Barton, I'm still, the football we're playing is a lot better, but the main problem is that obviously they're not his players, and a lot of the whole season has been mistakes. A lot of our goals are just mistakes and awful defending. So I can't really put too much blame on it. Hopefully, we can sort of stay up, or even if we go down, hopefully he can get us back together and bring in some good players and get the dead wood out.
Mm-hmm. So when Tisdale was sacked, was Barton your first choice? Because there was also rumours, obviously, Keith Curle being a Bristolian. Is that the word?
Bristolian. Yeah,
and I think he even played for City at one point as well.
Yeah.
Was Joe Barton your number one? Were you like, yeah, get him in, or were there any other names that you'd have rather seen in charge?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I actually really wanted Barton. I just like his passion and the fact. But I actually wanted the Cowley brothers, but I think Rovers,
So did we.
there was other big clubs after and weren't there,
Yeah.
and obviously they're now at Pompey. But there was also Stendhal linked, but he only had his one good season. I've probably done well, up in Scotland and stuff. But yeah, Barton was up there. Even when we was after Tisdale, I wanted Barton. But yeah, Barton was my first choice.
Mm-hmm. So moving on a little bit then to the reverse fixture, which was back in early October, late September, if I can remember rightly. Rovers beat us by, I think, 2-0. We obviously had a man sent off in that game, the idiot himself, Joe Martin, who is no longer at this club and will never be associated with us ever again. So just talk to us about that reverse fixture. What did you make of us? Where did you think, we're going to be in a scrap with you? Because I remember you guys were kind of down at the bottom, and it was so close to the start of the season, but you guys were down at the bottom, and then you kind of climbed up a little bit and then kind of just fell back down again. So just talk to us about that reverse fixture.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, obviously, I don't want to say it too, big, but I think you were probably the worst team I've seen this season. That game, we should have won 4-5-0. We had so many chances. Obviously, Joe Martin, he was funny enough at Rovers as well. He was shocking at Rovers as well. But yeah, I think we were really good. Obviously, Hanlon, I think it was Hanlon got scored a penalty, and Baldwin got a header as well. But yeah, I thought we were good that game. I didn't think we'd be in, where we are now. But to be honest, I thought, with Northampton, I was talking to Will about it. The fact that, you just got rid of so many players sort of in the summer, and Morton, Oliver, and a lot of other players. So with you, it's sort of the same as us. We've both gone out there and got a load of players, and we've sort of ended up in the same situation where they haven't sort of gelled, or it's not been the right players.
So you mentioned about the kind of players departing. We kind of said to ourselves, if we'd have had the same squad as we had last season, we'd probably been able to do fairly well this year with the way Keith Curl was playing, because they fitted into that system, and the one he brought in just didn't fit. Do you think we kind of say our team would be a decent average League Two team, like a mid-table League Two team, let alone even trying to stay in League One? Do you feel the same way about your team, or do you think they're just massively underperforming, or do you think they do okay in League Two? Or where do you think your team are at in terms of their ability?
I mean, it's sort of because obviously we had Garner and he had he got the players in, but we sort of went for this thing where, because our team is really young, he sort of went for the young look and wanted to play good football, but it's 50-50. It either works or you end up in a situation like us where, in the summer we got rid of like Chris Lines, Tony Craig, Circum, a lot of experienced players, and went for the young team really, and that's it's not worked at all. But I think I'm not sure where it would League Two. I'd hope it would be up there, but League One, no Rovers fan thought at the start of the season we'd be in this battle.
That's really interesting to see that. I think there is also kind of one team maybe thinks like that. I know I remember having a Barton fan on it in our start of the season kind of preview content that we did, and he was like, "Oh, I expect this squad to be challenging for the playoffs, or even automatics." And then look how that turned out for them. Although, like we say, it does look like they are going to be safe. So it's interesting to think that you were going to do a lot better than you were. We were kind of, as the newly promoted team, doing the classic. As long as we're above that dotted line, if it's by a goal, by a point, by a win, whatever, it's a successful season. Let's talk about how you've been doing recently. You're obviously, as we said, occupying the last position in the relegation zone, 21st, having played 40 games, the same as us. Teams around us, Swindon have played 39, Wimbledon have played 38, Wigan 39, Rochdale 38. Do the games in hand that these teams have worry you as a Bristol Rovers fan? Because, they definitely worry us.
Sort of, but not really at the same time, because Wimbledon don't score a lot of goals. They seem to draw a lot. But even even with most of us, we've got pretty hard run-ins, especially your fixtures after us. I didn't realize it was that tough. But it's the same for we've still got quite a tough run, but it's sort of 50-50 because it can either go either way. Teams can either play well when they're, because we seem to do better against better teams. Like our record in the bottom against the bottom 6 teams is shocking. Like we've only beat you and beat Wimbledon, and that's it. We've lost and drew against the other teams, so it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. So how have you been doing recently then? Obviously, we said you're 21st in the relegation. So last time out, you beat Doncaster by 2-1. Before that, you lost to Ipswich 2-1, and then before that, I think it was Sunderland. You lost to, yes, it was. So it seems like you've had a pretty mixed bag of results recently, but they've all been by a goal or two. So what have you been like recently? Are things starting to turn a little bit towards, we could stay up here?
Yeah, I mean, even obviously the last 3 games, I thought Donny. We obviously conceded first as well, but I thought we played. I thought before that game we'd get the win anyway, but we played well. Ipswich, I mean, don't even get me started. We conceded a goal after like 58 seconds. Shocking defending. I mean, that's basically been the problem, and then we conceded again after 11 minutes. And then, we played well, but going 2-0 down is always going to be tough. And then Sunderland was a frustrating one because Rovers fans said it a lot. We've been in most games this season, but it's just that final bit of quality that we're lacking. Because Sunderland, we started well, had 2 good chances, didn't score them. They didn't really do much, really. Even the goal, again, it was from a set piece. I think we've conceded 39 goals out of our 60 goals from set pieces. So that says it all, really. But, I mean, it's been a lot better. But even the games we've lost, like even Burton away, we were doing well, should have scored, didn't, then had a man sent off. McCormick got sent off. And then, it's just been frustrating.
Yeah, I think frustration is probably the way I'd sum up ours. Apart from Hull, I think all of our games we've kind of lost by the odd goal or won by the odd goal. I saw an interesting tweet, Cobblers fans, that somebody put out the other day, and they were kind of just listing our last maybe 8 or 9 games, and the performance kind of just alternated. It was like Shrewsbury, good; Hull, awful, and it was just good, awful, good, awful, good, awful, good, awful. So last time it was an awful against Hull. So hopefully we get good against Bristol Rovers, but we've been absolutely terrible against like you guys sound to have done against the teams around us. So on Saturday, then the teams are out on the pitch. Bristol Rovers are lined up in their blue and white, or probably some horrible grey away kit or something. Who are we going to be looking out for? Who should we be looking out for as the danger men for Rovers?
Well, definitely, especially after his 2 goals on against Donny, Luke McCormick, quality midfielder. He's on loan from Chelsea. I've never seen a loan player show so much passion and fight. And his pressing, his quality. He's like a box to box. He's got 6 goals now from midfield. I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of our players, he had a slow start to the season, but he's definitely sort of the last 20 games he's done a lot better, and he's one of our best players. Scored 3 in his last 2. Scored at Ipswich as well. Also, Zane Westbrook, got him from Coventry Summit again. Tisdale and Garner, for some reason, they played him as a DM. And he's not a DM. He's like a creative midfielder. And since Barton's come in, he's been a revelation. I think he's got 8 assists this season, got a few goals as well. And also Leahy, our top goal scorer from left back, 9 goals. He's on penalty duty as well, so he scored a few pens, but he's also got a few worlders as well. So I'd probably say them 3.
And then to finish off, how do you think the game's going to go on Saturday? What type of game are we going to see? And then if you just want to finish off the answer with the cheeky score prediction for us, please.
I mean, it could either go, it's going to be, I think it'll start off like really, tight, both teams, big game in it, biggest game for Rovers for like the last 3 or 4 years. But I mean, hopefully, we can start, the better. But if I was to give a score prediction, I said it on the stream I just did with Will. I'd say 3-1 to Rovers.
Ooh.
But it sort of depends who starts the better, and if we can actually, because we've had a lot of chances this season, but we don't seem to finish. It take like four shots, to score one goal. But yeah, I'd say 3-1 Rovers. I'm going to go for the two same scorers that scored in the last game against you, Baldwin and Hanlon, and also McCormick, and then probably Northampton. I'd say Hoskins.
He's confident. That's slightly, but yeah, I agree. Definitely going to be a cagey start. We kind of seem to play with a bit of fear when we play against. We play without fear when we play the top teams, but we play with fear when we play the teams around us. So it's going to be interesting. Josh White's just left us a comment saying it's going to be the biggest game of the season. It absolutely is. Somebody earlier in the chat, I can't remember who it was, forgive me. They said, "Do you think the loser of this game is going to get relegated?" I would probably have to agree. What do you think? Is the loser on Saturday going to get relegated?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised.
And do you think a draw would be good enough for both teams, or do you think one has to win?
Yeah, I think you got to go in and win it. I think a draw doesn't do both teams any favors, does it really? Because obviously we're the two teams that have played more than the teams behind us as well. They've got games in hand, but it could go either way because you can. I'm sort of glad we've only got to play like on the weekend now. We haven't got any Tuesday games left. So, but yeah, it could go either way.
Well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That's for sure.
And Lucy's made a point in the chat saying that we're going to have a different team to probably the team that we played against you in September as well. Luke has said that he's going for a 2-2, but any team could nick it. That's absolutely a fair point. The final thing I do want to ask you, I said the prediction would be the final thing, and this is the final thing. You just want to ask you something else after this. Is your run-in, for Cobblers fans that don't know, obviously we have a very tough run, and I'm not going to go through that. Bristol Rovers obviously play us. They play Lincoln, Milton Keynes, Portsmouth, Crew, and they finished the season at Blackpool. So a lot of tough teams in there, just like with ours. Probably slightly easier, as some of them could be on the beach. Some of them might be kind of settling for mid-table, like Crew, MK Dons, Ipswich maybe as well. So how many points do you think you're going to get out of those games? And do you think Bristol Rovers will be a League One football club next season?
Well, it's sort of interesting. If you'd have asked me about a month ago, I'd have said we got no chance. But seeing Lincoln now, the amount of injuries they got and their form, MK Dons and Crew are basically, I see them as the same side. They're just so inconsistent. One game they look good, the other game they don't look good. So sort of depends. But if I was going to have to say how many points, I'm going to be confident here. It might bite me, back, but I'm going to say 12 points. I think we'll lose to Pompey and Blackpool, but hopefully we beat you, Lincoln, Crew, and MK Dons. But I mean, it could go either way. But yeah, 12 out of 18. I think that should do us. But that's probably me being optimistic.
Not bad, is it? It's not bad. I mean, usually the League One to stay up is usually around kind of 50 points, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
You've got Burton on 45, Shrewsbury on 49. I think it might even be less than 50 points to step. I reckon maybe even 45 might do it. With how badly some teams are playing at the minute, it could be really, really. It's going to be really close. I think nothing will be decided until the last day. I think you guys could go into the last day 18th and finish it last, or we could go into it 23rd and finish 20th. I think that's going to be how the last day is, and that's not how I want it to be. I want things to be done, and I certainly on the last day want Sunderland to be promoted, and I'm sure, or you want Blackpool to be confirmed in the playoffs or not. The last thing I wanted to get from you is obviously you've got in your little caption there that you're One Rovers Vlogs. That's the name of your YouTube channel. You obviously leave some really nice comments on our videos as well, so thank you for those. Just tell us where everybody watching can find you as well, please.
Yeah, just One Rovers Vlogs on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Basically their Twitter and YouTube. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. So make sure you go and have a look at Luke's channel. Luke, where am I getting that from? Charlie's channel. It's pretty much kind of very similar to what we do here, but from a Bristol Rovers point of view, and with 1,000 more subscribers than we've got. So go and have a look at Charlie's channel. The link will be in the description if I actually remember to put it there when the video finishes. So that's pretty much everything from us. Hopefully we get a good game on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully the Cobblers win it. If not, a draw. Definitely not a loss, please. So yeah, thanks very much to Charlie for coming on. Thanks to everyone that's watched this live, and to everyone that's watching this back as a video. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That's all from us. Come on, the Cobblers. Let's get this win against these West Country boys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Up the gas.